Foul. Robert Milkins 7. Joe Perry 4.
Well, I don't quite know what that was for. These are terrible, terrible scenes here at the Crucible. Everybody trying to enjoy the snooker. I've never seen anything like this in 25 years of watching or working on the Crucible Theatre snooker. And we will now have a significant delay. Joe Perry and Rob Milkins managing to see the funny side. A packed arena on a wonderful night at an event that is always...
Well, history created at the Crucible. Not the sort of history we ideally want.
Well, just an inch further up the table. He's slightly hampered on this red. Oh, no.
You got it? Yeah, I've got it.
Well, clearly those pictures told the story of what's going on in the arena at the moment, Stephen. These things obviously happen with a bit more frequency at the moment, as so many of us know, but hopefully it looks as if it'll be sorted out sooner rather than later.
Yes, I've never seen that before at a snooker event. That's a first.
Well, history created at the Crucible. Not the sort of history we ideally want, but hopefully no one's hurt, and hopefully it will all be put to bed.
Scary, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shock, and it certainly caught... Well, unfortunately, that has happened to table one.
Wow.
So this is obviously going to cause a huge delay, and we have a real issue on our hands. The protesters causing issues at the World Snooker Championship, not something that we entirely predicted, but these things are happening with increasing regularity. The players are all leaving the arena, as you can tell, and a massive task.
Well, you just hope that the cloth can be recovered from that. I mean, do you get? I don't know. Do you get the Hoover out? I don't know.
It's obviously it's hard to tell what that material that is on the cloth. But it does look as if it's dry, so hopefully it can be hoovered up, but we won't know till we get a little bit more information. But the team will try and deal with it as quickly as possible, because obviously, as those pictures tell, there are a lot of people here. We're obviously covering, the players want to get out there, and this is obviously a massive concern. I'm hoping to tidy that up. But as you say, Stephen, it's not something that... it certainly caught people by surprise, and it felt very dramatic when it happened.
Well, I mean, it caught us by surprise. I mean, obviously we're watching it, and then just all of a sudden this happens. Yeah, I mean, for me straight away as a snooker player, I think, is the table recoverable? That's the first thing I think of.
Yeah.
As I say, we don't know what that is on the table, whether it can just be brushed off or whatever. But if it can't, that match is not getting played tonight. You know, that table, because the whole table needs a recover. Yeah. And that takes a long time.
Well, we will hopefully get some more information on exactly the situation, how much work is going to be needed to repair that table, clean that table. We're not entirely certain what has to be done to that table at the moment, but obviously the players have all been asked to leave. There's clearly a little bit of uncertainty. As you would imagine, it's very difficult for people to respond in the perfect way. Everyone's trying to do what is best at the moment. But for the players, Stephen, I mean, they would not have expected anything like this.
No.
What would they have to do now? Just sit in the dressing rooms and just wait?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you've gone through all your preparation all day to get ready for their first session at Crucible, and the first thing I think of is that table going to be playable tonight. You know, and how do the organisers fit that session into the schedule, which is already obviously very tight throughout the whole 17 days. Every session is marked out when it's going to be played. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot things needing worked out now. It's unknown territory.
Yes, a lot of uncertainty has ensued here at the Crucible. Not something that any of us could have predicted, but we have to deal with what are the facts. And all we know, as things stand, is that a protester came on to the arena at the Crucible, and there is a substance, a material. We don't know exactly what it is at the moment. We haven't been informed exactly what that material is on the table, on one of the tables, but hopefully we will find out a bit more information and bring that to you. But at the moment, as you can tell, we're in a situation of flux. So we are trying to work out where to go, what to do. But in the moment, Stephen, we will be talking about a couple of interesting stories that have developed through the day, and one in particular featuring a player who has made quite a big impression so far, and that, of course, is Hossein Vafai. He was up against Ding Junhui earlier today. Obviously, Ding Junhui was leading earlier on, but Hossein Vafai, brilliant from the three-time former champion Mark Williams, who will now play Luca Brissell in the second round. Now, let's update you with the state of play here at the Crucible. We know that protesters got onto the Crucible Arena earlier tonight. Now, what we have heard is that the players will be coming out shortly on table 2. That, of course, is Mark Allen and Fan Zhengyi. As for table 1, no decision has been made just yet. They do have to recloth that table. There is apparently an option for the players to resume on table 2 once Allen and Fan Zhengyi finish their match. So, Stephen, just tell me about reclothing the table and what the process is involved.
Yeah, I mean, I was doubtful whether they'd be able to play on that table after what happened. So yeah, the cushions, they have cushions already covered just to clip on, but the bed of the table has to be put on, nails and stuff. It's not something I've done often myself, Rishi, but it's quite a long process. I want to say an hour-ish. So there's no way you can have someone hammering nails on a table next to some people who are playing a match. So then later.
And what about the option of playing after the match on table 2? I mean, if you were Robert Milkins or Joe Perry, would you take that option?
You wouldn't want. I mean, what if that match goes 10-9 at 12 o'clock tonight, and you've got to go and play 9 frames at midnight? It's not ideal. It's not something I'd want to do. I think we have Thursday mornings where there's no play. Whether they can squeeze it in, but as I said earlier, every session, 17 days, is allocated, so it's really difficult. It's going to be really tricky.
Yeah, the knock-on effect for what has happened tonight could have a serious impact through the tournament.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be. There's going to be late finishes. Going to have to push matches, either change times. Yeah. Obviously, we've got live TV, so yeah, I'm glad I'm not in charge.
No, no. Obviously, I'm sure if you were in charge, things would have been dealt with very.
I was coming here playing the practice room, I suppose, behind us. We'd have a great view.
I have to say, well done to the Mike Ganley and his team for trying to get things done as quickly as possible. So they are doing their absolute best, but of course it's a very awkward situation. But we are pleased to say the players are returning on table 2. They're getting a standing ovation. I think those people who've worked hard to get things done and dusted, literally on this occasion, also deserve a round of applause. So Mark Allen and Fan Zhengyi are back, ready to resume their first round match here at the Crucible. And you can see what it means to this crowd here at the Crucible. It's an appreciative crowd who understand what has happened tonight. It's a very challenging situation, and just glad to get things going again.
Absolutely, absolutely. These people haven't ruined it, certainly for this table anyway, and the people that have come to watch snooker.
Well, let's hope that we can get this game, this match restarted without any more interruptions, and we hand back to our commentators, fingers crossed, for the rest of the evening, Ken Doty and John Virgo.
Thank you, Rishi. Breaks on 24. Tricky red to the middle. And considering what happened, tremendous shot from Mark Allen.
Don't know what all the fuss was about.
Thank you, settle down, please.
Don't know what all the fuss was about, he says. Brilliant.